In the world of business, you're going to have a couple of winners and a whole lot of losers. That just ends up being the way things have to shake out. You can't have everybody win as much as we'd all like to see everyone prosper, especially when we get into a bit of a business tug of war. You see that it ends up being where some companies just have to take the loss. I'm Cody from Wall Street Breakdown. Today, Boeing didn't take that loss. Pretty much as per usual, Boeing came out of another argument with other companies in regards to a tariff that's been placed on an order that they're trying to circumvent, and Boeing came out looking like the shining star that they've been all year for the Dow Jones, for their shareholders, and now in this case, in this little squabble between them, Bombardier, Airbus, Delta Airlines, and the American government. See, last week, some ambassadors from Canada and Britain, they came and made a point and said that, Boeing, they've got this backlog of like 7 years, and we don't see how Bombardier selling these C-Series planes, 75 of them to Delta Airlines, was really going to undercut any type of Boeing's business or hurt Boeing whatsoever. Boeing basically came back and said, we were trying to sell them used mid-size planes. How does our backlog have anything to do with that? If we were to go and sell planes to a competitor that we were trying to get in business with or further our business relationship, and we were selling them below the cost, wouldn't you come back at us and expect us to be playing fair? Of course you would. And the U.S. Commerce Department today agreed. Now, I've heard a few people say that it could be because there's a bit of a back and forth between Canada and the United States. And I'd like to think that as much as people want to blame the big bad United States, I'm a Canadian. I seen here last week that the Canadian government was going to bring in some Boeing planes for their military. Yeah, I know. We have a military up here in Canada. It's like 3 guys and 1 jet, and I think we have a boat somewhere, probably a dinghy lost somewhere out at sea. But we do actually have a military here. We were going to bring in some Boeing planes, but then our federal government decided that they'd stick their nose into capitalism, and they decided to go with Lockheed Martin instead of Boeing because, the United States government isn't working with basically a Canadian government subsidized company in Bombardier. So today, the U.S. government, and I'm not saying they're going tit for tat or anything like that, but the U.S. government fired back, and the U.S. Commerce Department said, no, we're going to stick with those 300% tariffs on those C-Series planes. So Delta's CEO, who came out a few months ago and said they expect to still take delivery of these planes. Airbus, who took over control of the C-Series program from Bombardier about a month and a half back, doesn't seem like they've got much left to stand on. One leg maybe one leg. Because while this isn't 100% over, they're going to need to prove that somehow Boeing is being hurt by this process in some way or another, that it's going to actually end up stopping this deal from going through. The U.S. International Trade Commission is going to have to make a final decision by February, but I can imagine everything's probably going to fall in line, and we're going to find out that, you know what? You still got to play by the rules. It doesn't make a difference how bad you want to make a deal or how much you got to push your average plane out the door to bring back a little bit of revenue because your company is heavily subsidized by the Quebec government, the federal government, and the fact of the matter is they just don't make planes on the level that a Boeing or an Airbus do, despite the fact that Airbus is involved in this now. The U.S. Commerce Department has decided that they're going to uphold these tariffs. The U.S. International Trade Commission may do the same, despite ambassadors from Canada and the United Kingdom coming and speaking their mind in regards to Boeing. It doesn't matter how big of a company you are. It doesn't matter how much business you do or how big your backlog is. It matters that you're playing fair out there on the trading floor and the playing field or whatever it happens to be. Here in the boardroom, it seems like Boeing was doing everything right. They offered Delta a very good deal on some used planes. Delta decided no, they were going to go ahead and strike up a deal with Bombardier that basically undermined what the industry calls fair. The U.S. Commerce Department is holding up that claim, 300% tariffs on these C-Series planes from Bombardier, you can only expect that the Delta Airlines CEO is going to be stamping a big red canceled sign on the cover of that proposal here quite quickly, because they're not going to be paying those tariffs. There's no way about it. We're going to hear a finalized report, like I was saying, from the U.S. International Trade Commission by the latest February 1st of 2018. I'm Cody from Wall Street Breakdown. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, thumbs up for this video, all videos, thumbs up for playing fair and for the winners, because we like winners here. That's where the money's made. And comments, leave us some comments. We want to know what you think. I would imagine if you're a Boeing shareholder, you've been thinking nothing but money all year, because their stock has been running the Dow Jones through the roof. We want you to have an excellent rest of your Wednesday.